Hi, we're going to talk to you about AlterEco, our automatic carbon footprint tracking app. First of all, what is the problem that we're trying to solve with our app?
Transport is the only sector that in 30 years hasn't seen a reduction in emissions, but an increase. To meet our collective targets would be to rethink the transport sector, and where better to start than by informing people about their travel routines and how they affect their carbon footprints. Generally, people are aware their journeys produce emissions, but most aren't aware of their scale or how their routines fit into a wider culture of carbon-hungry travel. How could they, when they have no easy way to track themselves without manually logging and entering their details into online calculators that are, at best, temporary, impersonal, and non-stimulating? Enter the AlterEco application.
So what can be done? Well, as of now, we did not find any application that allowed users to really grasp what their carbon footprint is and also what the main factors contributing to their emissions are. So they cannot, for example, compare themselves to other users living in the same city. So our application is able to track your walking activities, but also your car trips, tube or train journeys, and flights. And all that is done automatically. So you might say, well, this is a great idea, but I do not really want to be tracked, and this is absolutely fine. And this is why all your data is stored on the device, so and cannot be seen or accessed by anybody else, even us.
Now we're going to have a look at our user interface and the two main pages that we have. So we have the stats page and we also have the profile page.
So the first screen you see when you load our app is the graph view, where you can see the amount of carbon dioxide the user emitted and filter it down by transport mode, so we can see how much emitted by driving, walking, catching the train or flying, and at the top we can see it split by time, so a daily view, a weekly view, a monthly view and a yearly view. And you can progress through levels, essentially growing a small plant, which starts off here as a little leaf, and then if you collect 3,000 points you can move on to the next level, which then shows a larger leaf, and then you progress onto a tree. And then below this you can see that we compare you against the average UK daily carbon emission value to kind of create a competitive element of the app, so you have something to work towards. And then below that you can see that we show some highlights and tips. So these are based on your points that you've accumulated, we'll tailor the tips and highlights towards you. So here is another view of our app, and it's shown on an iPad. It shows that when you emit more than the UK daily average carbon emissions, the graph turns red to act as a warning that you should start reducing your carbon emissions.
The second main view of our app is our profile page. The reason we introduced a profile page is because we wanted both an element of personalisation and gamification to our app, as opposed to just having a pure stats page. I'd like to take you through a few of the elements of this page. So first of all, we have the picture and nickname. So you can set and change your picture at any time. We thought this would be a really good idea to get people engaged with using the app, so you can set it as a picture of yourself and change your nickname, so it feels a bit more personalised to you. Next, beneath, you can see it has your score. So this is the same score that we talked about earlier on the stats page. The reason for including it on the profile page is so that you can see it update and understand how well you are doing. So one of the major elements of our profile page are our achievements or awards. We got this idea from apps such as Duolingo, who use awards as ways to encourage certain behaviour. So if you reach certain criteria, you can unlock these awards.
I just downloaded a fresh version of AlterEco, and I'm going to go for a short drive, and we're going to see how the graph updates because of my drive and whether I gain any points from the drive. My privacy settings for GPS are set to always, so that the app can track my movements. So I've just made it back home. We've driven around for around 3-4 minutes, something like that. AlterEco has updated. You can see that it says that I emitted around 200 grams of carbon dioxide just in this short drive, and this appears under the car picker but not the other pickers. And it appears on today's date, Sunday, and it appears in the month of May and in the year 2020. This drive made me gain 4 points only because it was a drive. I would have made more points if I'd walked. And I've emitted 9% of the UK average emissions today, which isn't that much. I just downloaded a fresh version of AlterEco. There's no data in it at the moment. I'm going to go for a very short walk as I think it's about to start pouring, but we will see how the graph updates with the walking data. I've just come back from my walk and AlterEco has updated. It says that I have saved 145 grams of carbon dioxide by walking. This is visible under the daily, weekly, monthly and yearly pickers. And the walk only made me earn 8 points as it was really very short because it started raining. And I have emitted 0% of the UK average because I've just walked today and I haven't taken any other modes of transport.
What we've hoped to achieve here is give people a better way to reflect on how their travel routines make an impact on the environment. We've done this by automatically detecting how people live, giving them back a daily, monthly and yearly breakdown of their travel activity, while incentivizing them to make changes in ways that make the most difference to their carbon footprints. All of this, without any user input, frees users to build, as honestly as possible, a picture of their unique carbon footprints by simply going about their daily lives.